So in my brain, postdoc is essentially a continuation of your growth as a scientist, right? So in my PhD, I was making tons of mistakes, not writing all of my notes down, dilutions, all of it. And so my expectations for my postdoc are to not do that again, obviously, but really hone my skills. And so for me, success as a postdoc is very simple. It's very much not making the same mistakes I did in my PhD, making sure that, for example, like my notes are a lot better, much more organized, and that I'm setting realistic experimental goals. As a PhD student, I used to say, I'm going to do 7 experiments today. Well, that's not realistic, is it? So looking at my plan for the day and just making sure that I have given myself enough time to complete my experiments and then also have time to analyze. You don't want to have a backlog of data that you just haven't had a peep at.
I would say first it comes down to, am I enjoying my research? Am I enjoying my time there? Because I think a lot of times when you're coming up in the sciences, like your first metric of success is like, did I publish? Did I get that grant? Did I get that collaboration? But I've learned through grad school and then up and coming through towards the end of my postdoc, that are you enjoying yourself? Because for me, I'm not looking out to be like, to be top of the pack. There's people out there who are doing that type of research and they're doing what they love, but I want to enjoy my day-to-day. And so success comes from like, am I enjoying myself? But granted, there's also the success of your research. Are you working with your collaborators in a way that you're actually achieving the research that you want to do? You're working to fulfill whatever the mission of the research that you're trying to conduct. So.
I would say the first and foremost important thing is publications, because that is what people from outside actually look at. So having, some good publications, I would say 2 or 3 good publications in good journals is a good thing for you to, advertise yourself, your work that you are doing. Then in your postdoctoral career, if you can get some funding, like some kind of grants, which shows that you can also attract money for the work that you are doing. So those 2 are my primary, deliverables, I would say. This is always mentors also advocate, get some publications under your belt, and if you have time, write some grants as well. But other than that, I would say that there are other soft skills that you need to develop, like how to run a lab, what kind of people do you want to be with. So those kind of skills that, you need to understand. If possible, have that conversation with your mentor and try to run a mini lab in your mentor's lab so that, you can make those small mistakes and get corrected and get feedback.
Before defining the mentor, I think we had to define who is not a mentor. Because a mentor is not like the famous, good speaker, well-funded investigator. These are not. A mentor is the person, or an advisor is the person who listens, who guides, who supports, criticizes, but constructively, and takes the student or the trainee to the final position that person, that individual would like to land, let's say. So, because a mentor or advisor should be the wise person who already went through these stages and quickly be able to understand the needs of this trainee, and then starts to fill the gaps in the person's career to reach his or her ultimate destination, which is landing the dream job of the postdoc in this case.
Yeah, the good thing, good or bad, but about being a postdoc is the mentoring experience is both sides. Many times we are the mentee, but we also tend to be mentors as well. And we get a sense of the importance of being proactive when we are the ones who are supposed to lift someone else up. And so I think that when it comes to being proactive, it's very important because it sets expectations and it allows for the other party to interact with us at a level that is beneficial to us if we are the mentee, but also beneficial to them as a mentor to make sure that they're doing their work appropriately. So having those conversations early on is always a good thing. Documenting them, having regular meetings is an aspect of the mentoring process that is very important and we should take seriously. Yeah.
So I think being proactive is learning from your past mentor as a mentee, like what your experience was, because I know through grad school it was a whole new world for me, to quote Aladdin, but it was yeah. It was very much like in grad school, it was like, okay, there's these expectations. I have to do all of these different kinds of requirements for the graduate school to graduate. I have to do all these kind of research requirements with my committee to graduate. I have to do all of these intellectual, like what am I contributing to the field to graduate? And so that was more of me just like saying yes to everything. Whereas in my postdoc, it has given me time to be like, okay, what do I need as a person to develop myself rather than solely focusing on like, what do I need to have done for my research? So I think it was a shift of like, what do I need for Mariana? Not so much what do I need for Dr. Keynes.
So I would say that, first of all, when you join your postdoctoral career, have a clear understanding of what you want to get out of it actually. And then clearly write it out. If possible, share it with your colleagues, ask them, are these kind of things realistic expectations? Share their feedbacks and then make use of IDP. It is actually to benefit, you actually. So write it down with a serious attention and then discuss with your mentor actually. It will help you on a long run. And then IDP is not like a one-time document. It's like a living document. So you will be periodic changes. You might, completely go in a certain direction or other direction. So use the IDP in the best way, and then also network as much as possible and understand what is the field and how the field is growing. Read and then learn as much as, I would say. With the advisor, I actually wanted to do it in a formal way, in the sense I wanted to use the documents at a later point of time also. So normally I will send emails regarding these are the needs that I have and this is what I am trying to meet. It can be it doesn't have to be quite frequent, like that because these are the different times you need mentoring advice. And then if you happen to get time with your mentor to meet in person, what normally I do is that I record my meetings, taking permission from them actually, so that I can hear back again and then write out important points, like again taking notes which might work for you. And you can also sometimes it may not be appropriate, sometimes it may be appropriate for you. And then what is appropriate and what is not appropriate, give that feedback to your mentor as well, because they also may not have a long-term experience of having so many postdocs. So they are also a learning path just like I am actually. So given that back and forth feedback and having that pleasant environment for that they are also learning something about you, it will be a good thing actually. And then again I would say that make use of IDP. It is a living document, and then if possible, try to mentor others also, so that you also know, okay, these are the things that we can expect, and this is something that you can ask for from mentors as well.
So for me, I have a team of mentors. I am a big advocate for having multiple sources of mentorship, because not everyone's style is going to fit you or suit your needs. But the first step before looking for mentors is knowing yourself, knowing what you need. And so when I was transitioning from my PhD to my postdoc, I thought, okay, well, how did that go? How was your PhD experience? Did you like your advisor? Did you like the postdocs? Did you like the lab structure? If yes, great. If not, what would you do differently? And what do you need to grow in this next stage? So those are two big questions I recommend that my colleagues kind of think about and digest before asking for mentors. And then the other piece of that is, what do you need in terms of research? So my project is across several disciplines, and I have a mentor in each specific field. So if I have a question or something I want to go outside the box about, I'll talk to them and be like, hey, am I crazy for thinking this? And usually they'll say no, but sometimes they're like, all right, you need to chill out. But it is helpful to know, what my main mentor, my PI, can provide me, and then where her expertise ends. Because that's what science is, right? It's all about making connections and collaboration. And me getting the support I need will ultimately involve me going beyond Professor Horsley.